What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream on the Texas Rangers Report. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down Ezequiel Duran, the Texas Rangers #4 overall prospect, getting the call to the big leagues. But if this is your first time on the Texas Rangers Report, make sure to subscribe right now because I'm your #1 source for all things Texas Rangers related on YouTube. But also make sure to join the Discord. That link is in the description down below. And just in case you don't know what a Discord is, we talk Texas Rangers live chats, news, rumors, MLB draft, etc. So make sure to go check that out right now. But the big news is Ezequiel Duran is getting the call to the major leagues. He is skipping AAA. The Rangers have done that with multiple prospects in the past, but it seems like they've wanted to avoid that recently to develop the prospects a little more. But notable prospects that they have done that to is Matt Bush, Joey Gallo, I think Rougned Odor, and Jerickson Profar. And we all know how those people have turned out. Nomar Mazar has been out of the league for a while. Odor hasn't really been a major league, he hasn't really been worthy of a major league contract. Profar hasn't lived up to his status, but all of those are for different reasons. Doesn't mean that Duran is going to be the same guy, but now this is already the Rangers already have 3/4 of the prospects in the Joey Gallo trade at the major leagues. However, the Rangers, Evan Grant said that Duran was getting called up regardless of the Josh Smith injury. However, in order to make a roster spot for Duran, Josh Smith was put on the 10-day IL because I don't know if it's because of his shoulder or his wrist. I've heard conflicting stories. However, just because Josh Smith is on the 10-day IL, that doesn't mean, he's going to be back in about a week or two. It could mean that the injury is significant, but the Rangers are just holding out, hoping that it could be a quick turnaround. So don't get your hopes up too quick on Josh Smith. It could be a lengthy injury. Hopefully not. We still don't know the details of that yet. But the exciting news is that Ezequiel Duran is in the major leagues. He skipped over AAA, but in my opinion, I don't think that necessarily means he will be a quick option back down to the minors. If he is, I don't think he's going back down to AA. I think he'd go to AAA because he was raking at AA. But if he is raking in the major leagues, there's no point to send him down to AAA because the people that would be playing third base, if it's not Josh Smith, is either Andy Ibanez or Charlie Culberson, all of which have been terrible this year. However, remember, we are going to get Brad Miller back at some point this season, who could be in the mix for some third base. However, he is only good versus right-handed pitching, so you will need somebody to get the lefties. And Ezequiel Duran could probably be a better option than both Charlie Culberson and Andy Ibanez, even though that's what they're meant to do is hit the lefties. I know a lot of people have been upset with Ibanez. They're still okay with Culberson, one, because he's a veteran presence, two, because he's versatile, but a lot of people want Ibanez gone. But I don't know about you guys, but this is super exciting to have Duran at the major league level because the Rangers haven't had a lot of top prospects reach the major leagues. It's been a while. Like I said in the Josh Smith call-up, it's the last major Rangers hitter or just major prospect in general was Joey Gallo. But now we have Josh Smith. Obviously he's hurt. Hopefully it's a quick turnaround. Now we have Ezequiel Duran, who I think he can stick. I really think he can stick at the major leagues. He doesn't have a definite position, that's for sure. He's going to play third base for now. We'll see what happens whenever Brad Miller gets back and Josh Smith gets back, because I think Josh Smith showed enough in his 4 or 5 games. I think he showed enough to stick at the major leagues. So hopefully Ezequiel Duran can show enough to stick at the major leagues as well, push Ibanez or Culberson out. Um, but yeah, and also Josh Young. That's another prospect too that is coming up. So we have, like I said, it's been a while. Joey Gallo was the last one, in my opinion. You guys could be saying, "Oh, what about this guy?" But in my opinion, I think the last one was Joey Gallo. And think about it, we traded Joey Gallo, and 3 of the prospects are already in the major leagues. Glenn Otto has been pretty decent this year. And he's in the majors. He was in the majors since last year. Josh Smith is in the major leagues. And Glenn Otto, that's crazy. Even if Trevor Howard never reaches the majors, I think that is a win for the Texas Rangers. And Joey Gallo is doing terrible in the major leagues this year, which is definitely crazy. However, obviously the players need to become everyday starters or above average starters in order for the trade to actually pan out. But I think this is crazy, especially for the Rangers to have that much faith in Ezequiel Duran to skip AAA. Like I was saying, he doesn't have a definite defensive position. I think he's played shortstop, he's played second base, he's played third base. I think in the long term, he'll end up being a third or second baseman, maybe even first base. I think he's more athletic than he's given credit for. So he could potentially see a few games at short if need be, but he's more athletic than Justin Foscue. So that's good. And I actually have seen him play in Double A, and I think he is an extremely good prospect. Um, I think he's really going to impress us at the major leagues, just like Josh Smith, because I think Josh Smith is going to have his roster spot whenever he gets back. Brad Miller is going to have his spot whenever he gets back. Hopefully, Ezekiel Duran can make a case for his spot. From Dak Prescott, um, IFG from Aggie Bro. What are we going to do next year when Josh Young comes back next year? What are we going to do with Smith and Duran? Good question. So I think first base is a spot that's up for grabs. Nate Lowe hasn't really been impressive. So you could use Young at maybe third or first. Um, and then maybe use Duran at third if Young's playing first, because obviously shortstop and second base are locked up. Even though Marcus Semien hasn't been playing great, I think left field will be opened up. So maybe it's like Josh Smith in left, Ezekiel Duran at third base, and Josh Young at first. But also there's going to be a DH spot open because we're kind of just platooning with our DH spot. I mean, it's been Mitch Garver, and I mean, it might be Mitch Garver next year, but you never know. So maybe it's Josh Young at third, Ezekiel Duran at DH, Josh Smith in left field. That could be a possibility, but obviously you need Duran to play well. I think we got enough sample size of Josh Smith to know he actually looks like an every single day big leaguer, and we hopefully Josh Young can recover from his injury accordingly and gets back to being the top prospect that he once was. And I wonder if, like, since we have all these like top infield prospects, if the Rangers are going to want to take it slow with Young next year, and with the depth that we have, if they're going to want to have him DH or play first base and maybe ease into third base, or maybe it's kind of like, oh, we really don't need him to play third base because we have Duran, because we have Smith, etc. But isn't this crazy? If Young never got hurt, there's no guaranteeing that Smith or Duran would ever have reached the major leagues this year. I think that is really crazy, but it just goes to show, even if you have a plan in place, it's saying like, oh, Josh Young is our everyday franchise third baseman, that may not be the case because Duran it may be playing third base next year. Josh Smith might be being playing third base next year because obviously Smith maybe not have the best arm, but he's solid defensively. He has a good bat. We'll see what we can get from Duran. Maybe he's in the major leagues a week or two, hopefully longer than that. But you never know. You never know. I do think I'm not saying Josh Young doesn't have a future with this team. It's just maybe it's at first, maybe it's at third, maybe it's at DH. You never know. But I'm really sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. I'm really happy with the future of this team. I mean, the past couple of games have been frustrating because the offense has been garbage, and maybe hopefully the Rangers were hoping on calling or planning on calling up Duran regardless of Josh Smith's injury. I know that's what Evan Grant said, but you know that people could fudge things around in the media because the offense has been terrible. I mean, Marcus Semien has been frustrating. Yes, it looks like he's been turning it around some nights, and then other nights it hasn't been good. I don't know. Other nights we just do enough to get by, and then, I mean, our pitching has actually been solid. Yes, Joe Barlow let up that home run or whatever to Eugenio Suarez, but we're not getting any hits. We're not helping out the pitchers at all, and it's super frustrating. And like our highest OPS on the team is like 770 by Cole Calhoun. Corey Seager only has like a 740. So hopefully, like Josh Smith brought a spark to this team, Ezequiel Duran could bring a spark to this team as well. But going over the call up again, I'm super excited. Our number 4 overall prospect, he's a top 100 prospect on MLB.com. A really good hitter with good pop as well. Not the best defensively, but he's just an average defensive player. He's not terrible by any means. A pure infielder. He's never really played the outfield, so third, shortstop, second base, and he's went from Double A Frisco straight to the majors, just like Joey Gallo, just like Odor, just like Mazzara, etc. Matt Bush. I'm hoping that Duran can stick at the big league level, and I think that, like, I know teams are still worried about time clock, even though the CBA tried to negate the time clock. I still think teams are going to be worried about that, but I hope Duran can prove that he's worthy of being in the major leagues, and it's just exciting because, like, yes, I mean, you can build your team many ways, free agency and trades, and seeing people come over from trades like Nate Lowe or Marcus Semien coming over in free agency is cool and whatnot. But I think whenever you get a homegrown player, I mean, he came over in the Joey Gallo trade, but I still consider it homegrown because he was in the minor league system, just like Josh Smith. I think that's the coolest thing ever because they started in the minor leagues and then you saw him as a rookie. I think that's the coolest thing ever. And now this is the third person from the Joey Gallo trade to reach the major leagues. One, Glenn Otto, who is actually pitching tonight, and he was actually pitching on Josh Smith's MLB debut as well, which is crazy. I was at Josh Smith's MLB debut. He racked up 3 hits. Maybe Duran can do that tonight. That would be insane. I'm excited. I think this brings a spark to the fan base, to the team as well. But if you guys have any more comments or questions, put them down below. From Aggie Bro, do we have any updates on Leody Taveras when he could see some playing time? I don't have any updates. I know that he was started this season off hot in AAA, but he's slowed down significantly. He started off with like a OPS over 1,000, and now it's dropped over under 800. So I don't know what to tell you. I guarantee if he came up to the major leagues, he would still have the same swing and miss issues. He would still have an elite defense, still have elite base running, etc. Just I don't think he's really figured it out with his hitting. And he only has one. I think this is the biggest thing. He only has one option remaining. So if you were to call him up now and he doesn't figure it out, and you option him back down, that would really mean that it's Leote's last year to like figure it out, or you have to keep him on the active roster. So I really think the Rangers want to take their time with him. I think they still believe in him. It's just they don't want to like try to force anything on him where they have to keep him on the active roster, etc. But in the Discord, we've been talking about would it make sense to trade Leote since he probably still has some value, but I think he's kind of reaching the um, that ceiling where it's like, okay, yes, you're still kind of young, but if you were to like give us some value, I think you should have delivered it already. But I bet some team would probably take a gamble on you, and you could probably throw in maybe like Spencer Howard or Colby Allard or Willie Calhoun, etc. Maybe we could get a nice pitching prospect or pitching player with some control. You never know. But just to wrap up the video, Ezequiel Duran, the Rangers' fourth overall prospect from the Joey Gallo trade, is going to be playing third base tonight, batting seventh. He got the call going straight from AA to the Texas Rangers. Big league squad. Exciting time for the Rangers fan base and the team in general. I really hope Duran can stick in the majors. I think he can. I think a lot of people think he can as well. But we'll just have to see what he can do. He just has to prove it. But if you like the video, if you like the live stream, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I'm your number one source for all things Texas Rangers related on YouTube. That being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.